Hello, I'm Coach Natalie, and welcome to another episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies. Today we're going to be working on two variations of the arm triangle. Now the arm triangle is part of the head and arm choke family. Some of the other chokes that we've done, the Peruvian necktie, the anaconda, are called head and arm chokes because you are circling the head and the arm. In this case, we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're actually going to be using your partner's or your opponent's arm as part of their own blood choke. So you're really going to be choking them with their own arm. So let's check it out. Again, okay, the head and arm choke is what we would call a blood choke. Now the blood chokes work by pressing on either side of your carotid artery. Now in this case, I'm working with my dummy here, my partner Sally, and let's just say I'm in kind of what we would call a Kata Katami setup, where we're like this, and normally it's a choke that's often done in wrestling or judo. In fact, Kata Katami is a judo term. What we're going to be learning is what they call a Kata Katami. And so you're going to be, for some reason, you've gotten their head underhooked. Now, they may be trying to frame away from you, creating some kind of pressure. And so that's fine. If they're framing you, you're going to take your hand right behind their elbow and you're going to shuck their arm right across their neck. And as soon as you do that, you're going to be cutting the corner and really pressing on that arm with your sternum. So it looks like this. Underhook the head, they're framing you. You take your hand right behind their elbow, shuck it across, and immediately trap their arm with your chest. Now you'll notice I'm on what we call active toes. That means that I'm on my toes, pressing forward. And really what I'm going to be doing is pressing this arm right across their neck. Now, remember, the side of their neck is pressing into my bicep. This arm is pressing right into the other side of their neck, and then I'm applying pressure until they tap. So some of the mistakes that people might make, this is a really simple choke, but there are some mistakes that people might make. One of the mistakes that they might make is when I'm trapping this arm, that I'm pressing too high up. You really want to have the onus of your pressure just about even with where their arm intersects with their neck. Again, they're framing. I shuck their arm, turn, and really press, but pressing right down low, kind of into the side of the neck. Another problem might be the angle. I may be starting off parallel to them, but as soon as I can, I want to cut the corner and be at a 90-degree angle from them. That's going to apply the most pressure. Another mistake that people might make is that, as I said, being on your knees. No, I think a lot of people think that when you do a head and arm choke, that you're really trying to squeeze as much as you can. You really don't want to use your arms like that because they could burn out pretty easily. Instead, you want to use your whole body weight. Again, you're in kind of a Kata Katami scarf hold position, underhooking this head with your arm. For some reason, they're framing you, which is good, you know, what they should be doing. I'm taking this elbow, shucking it across, immediately getting on my knee, getting on my toes, and really pressing forward. And pressure on both sides of their neck is going to result in a tap or them falling asleep. Now, there is another way to do this where you're actually going to be using the forearm. So let's just say instead of me underhooking with this arm, I'm going to be underhooking with this arm. We might call this the shoulder of justice version. So it looks like this. Again, so there's a position called shoulder of justice. Lots of times you're underhooking the person's head. You're really pressing your shoulder kind of onto the side of their neck. It's a very painful position. It's not going to put anyone to sleep, but in any case, let's just say you're underhooking the head. Now, let's just say your partner is going to be framing with this far arm, which is great. As soon as they do that, with this hand, you're going to be shucking the arm towards you and instantly putting your head on the mat and gable gripping like this. Now, as soon as I can, I want to jump my feet over to the other side. Now, the concepts are then pretty similar to what we've just done. I'm going to cut the corner, get my chest right onto her arm, and now I'm pressing in this direction. So as soon as you jump over, the concepts are just the same. You want to press this arm across her neck. You want to cut as much of an angle as you can. 90 degrees would be best. Gable gripping your hands. That kind of just keeps them, from flopping. And then really the pressure is coming from your toes, pushing this way. So again, hand is over here. Now you're on this side. Now you're pressing here. And the pressure is coming this way. So let's try them both out again. In this case, Kata Katami, you're framing, you take this hand, shuck the elbow, and trap with your chest. In this case, you got it more in a shoulder of justice position. Shuck the arm as soon as you can. Hold it in place by putting your head on the mat, tripoding it. And then again, pressing the pressure from this direction. And that is the head and arm triangle. Once you are familiar with the concepts of pressing on one side of the neck with your inside of your elbow, and then using this near arm to press on the other side of your neck, once you are familiar with that setup, then you'll start to see arm triangles from lots of different positions. There's lots of tutorials out there which talk about the arm triangle from the mount and the half guard and that kind of thing. So that might be something to check out. I do appreciate you reaching out to me, giving me suggestions for videos. Follow me on my Facebook page, Natalie with some Jiu Jitsu. And thank you again for another episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies.